Good evening. I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor, and it's currently 7 o'clock on Friday, August 21st. And I want to do today's daily recap of events that affect the way you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. Now, the question for today is, what was he thinking? A presidential proclamation? We'll get to that in just a few minutes. It's going to get a little interesting. Right now, we touch base on the current COVID cases again. It's the single biggest mover right now in the world, definitely here in the U.S. We're at election time, basically, and it's going to be key in the elections, the handling or the not handling of it. But COVID is the big thing. It's going to be here for a while. Sorry, it's not going to be, here and gone. Again, we're 8 months into this right now, and it's not gone, not anywhere near gone. So expect this to last for a little bit. So right now, the COVID cases, number of COVID cases are 5,615,000 cases. That's basically up 53.5 thousand cases since yesterday. That's an increase in the numbers. We'll get into that a little bit later too. The deaths right now, they can't be fudged any way, shape, or form. Okay, 175,000 people have died so far since this has all started in January here in the U.S. anyway. And that's another 1,300 people since yesterday. Again, 175,000 Americans have died since January from COVID. California has the number one spot with the highest number of cases, okay, at 656,000, almost 657,000 cases right now. They're up 6,500 cases since yesterday. Their deaths right now are 11,886. They're up 187 people since yesterday have passed on. Florida's at the number 2 spot. Texas is at number 3. New York remains at number 4. Again, not because they've increased anything, just because they had an initial big start with their cases back in March and April. Right now, Georgia's at number 5. Illinois is at number 6. Arizona's at number 7. New Jersey at number 8. Again, they're in the top 10 because, again, of what happened early on in March and February. And they haven't had any major cases developed since then. North Carolina is still at number 9, which is going to be an interesting thing shortly. And Louisiana's at number 10. Now, it's been a busy week. It generally is. And tons of things have been happening, and nothing's been happening. I mean, if you take an overview of the news, if you really take an overview of the news, it's pretty much the same garbage day in, day out. Now, I come and I report on some of the highlights that really affect the way you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. But from day in to day out, it's really pretty much the same thing every day. So right now, the U.S. has reported well over 53,000 new cases of coronavirus since Thursday, according to the news, making an 11% drop in the 7-day averages of new cases compared with last week. But at this point in time, you really don't know what's happening with the numbers, as a number of states in some places are actually slowing down their testing. So the chances are the real numbers are really, really much higher. Now, Dr. Robert Redfield, he's the director of Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, said the U.S. could get the pandemic under control if most Americans wear masks and embrace social distancing and practice good hygiene for up to 3 months. And that's interesting. But here's his direct quote. It's in our hands, within our grasp, but it's going to require all of us to embrace these mitigation steps. And we're going to need to do that for 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks. And then we will see the outbreak under control, end quote. Well, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, there's a big disparity there. Okay, that's certainly, a real definitive timeline, and that gives me a lot of confidence. He's an intelligent guy. He knows what's going on. Why he would make a statement like that is beyond me, but he did, and I can't make it up. It's just the way it is. Okay, and he must have also forgotten where he was, because right now here, there's continuing and overwhelming daily evidence that the politicians, as well as the U.S. population, are having a serious problem getting their heads around the idea of wearing masks. Okay, people still refusing to wear masks. And there have been a number of cases being reported that store employees and clerks, okay, have actually been physically assaulted by patrons when they ask the patron to wear a mask or even offer a mask to them. Okay, store clerks are being assaulted, being punched in the face. Okay, there's something a little wrong with this picture here, folks. Okay, the guy's doing his job. Okay, just trying to help out, trying to cover his bases, trying to make a living, and he's getting punched out for offering somebody a mask. We have some problems here. We really do. The president right now is still pressing to reopen schools for in-person classes. That's despite the fact that the school where he sends his son at is only doing virtual classes. Now, the schools that do reopening are open for a week or so because all of a sudden there's a pop-up of outbreaks that force them to go back to virtual classes. What a surprise. The same thing has happened at colleges and universities. Although the students in those institutions have a bit more to say about things, and they have a few more ways of expressing them, their discontent with what's going on. Okay, and they're not happy about in-person classes being required, and they've got social media, they've got their school papers, and a number of them are posting some really interesting articles in their school papers. Okay, and again, the schools open up, yeah, and bang, in a week, they're all shut down again. Okay, here we are right now in 2020. It's an amazing effort, open effort to delegitimize the results of the upcoming election and to actually suppress voter turnout. The Postmaster General, a major donor to the President Trump, was called on the carpet today before the Senate committee to try and explain why he was having mailboxes removed from certain neighborhoods and shutting down high-speed sorting machines. Now, he did say that he would not make any additional cutbacks before the upcoming election, and the election ballots would be given priority handling. Well, that's really, really nice. But he also said he would not replace the mailboxes that he's already removed or the high-speed sorting machines that he already took offline. Now, the DNC just finished its virtual convention yesterday, in fact. Okay, Biden took the nomination, and we missed the balloons because I don't think they did balloons. That's normally a big deal. They take they do their speech. Yeah, we're going to accept the nomination, and the balloons come down. Okay, they've been doing that for years. However, we have a virtual convention, no balloons this time. I'm disappointed. Now, right now, the DNC has a slate set with Joe Biden and his running mate, Kamala Harris. Okay, it was full of hope for the future, and they had an impressive list of speakers. A number of prominent Republicans were speaking at the DNC, endorsing the Biden-Harris ticket. Now, the RNC starts their convention on Monday, just a couple of days from now. It's back in its original state of North Carolina, which is still on the list as number 9, if I can remember correctly, as a top 10. They're still on the list. And what happened was the president wanted the convention in North Carolina. COVID hit. All of a sudden, North Carolina wasn't going to let him have his rally type of situation without social distancing and masks. And he pulled out of there, went to Jacksonville. Jacksonville was fine until the state got swamped, okay, because the governor down there went and reopened everything. And they got a hell of a problem down there with COVID right now. And right now, they got shut out of Jacksonville, and they're back in North Carolina again. Now, we'll get to see who speaks there and what the general tone is going to be starting on Monday night. And that should be interesting. Now, for all those people that still follow what the markets are doing, yeah, and I don't, but I report it because some people actually are interested in those things. The Dow, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ were all up for the week, which sounds good. Some of them actually made some record highs. However, investors are getting a little concerned that those indices are rising only on the strength of just a few stocks, and that the narrow breadth of the advance really could signal an upcoming pullback, according to some analysts. Now, you already know how I feel about forecasting the stock market, or any other market for that matter. You might just as well get out your Ouija board. It just I don't try and predict what happens in the market. Okay. And what we do with our system, we react to what's happening in the market. And we're just looking for short-term swings. And we take little bites on a consistent basis. And that seems to work out well. Now, that whole thing brings me to the question for today. Okay. What was he thinking? A presidential proclamation? Okay. Right now. Okay. The very thought of that in today's makes people, some people actually cheer, makes others actually jeer. It wasn't always that way, though. Okay. Way back in August 19, 1988, in his presidential proclamation at the time, President Ronald Reagan said, and I quote, "For all they have achieved throughout their life, and for all they will continue to accomplish, we owe older citizens our thanks and our heartfelt salute. We can best demonstrate our gratitude and esteem by making sure that our communities are good places in which to mature and grow older," end quote. And with that, National Senior Citizen Day was created. It's celebrated right now on August 21st. It's been that way ever since he made the proclamation. But boy, things have certainly changed dramatically. Okay. Those were the days when you could work for the same company for 30 plus years and retire with a pension, supplemented by a Social Security check, and your own personal savings, and live out your years in dignity. Have a relatively good time playing with the grandkids. The world has changed in many ways since then. We all live a lot longer right now. Right now, we all understand that cigarettes really do cause cancer. Okay. We right now have more than 3 TV stations that we can actually watch. Okay. We went to the moon. We have new toys and new technology. We have the internet. We have smartphones. And we have Dick Tracy watches that are real now. They were just in the comics before. Dick Tracy talking on his wrist. Well, lo and behold, Apple's got their watch now. You can do the same thing. It's absolutely amazing. However, in all that, we did actually lose at least one thing. That 30-year thing with the same company and a pension, long gone. For the majority of society, anyway. Right now, today, okay, you need to go to a museum to see what that used to look like. It just doesn't exist anymore. Okay, company pensions have shifted to 401k plans and deferred compensation plans that people really can't make enough to appropriately fund anyway. President Reagan was the first to make Social Security payments actually taxable. And there's been a constant attack on Social Security that really brings its continued existence into question. And that was in relatively good times. What do you think it's going to be like when the country is trying to pay back the massive debt that has risen in the highest in the history of the U.S., the highest in the history of this country, in the last 3.5 years, from the tax giveaways to the top 1%, an economic disaster from the totally botched COVID response. Now, there is a bright light at the end of all this. You think it'd be difficult to find one, but there is. Okay, in all that, okay, we as a nation are an amazingly resilient people. Despite all the fear mongering and the divisive politics, at our core, we're really a decent people that tend to look out after one another. And if plan A didn't work, okay, we don't like it, but we'll come up with a plan B and find a way to make that work. And that's what people are doing right now. Now, I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor. My only goal is to help you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. If you find these sessions helpful and want to help getting your plan B set up and working so you can get the ultimate secure retirement that you've always dreamed of, and do it in maybe just the next 3 to 5 years, go to my site, drrousenow.com, to see if I can help. For now, I appreciate you spending some time with me tonight. And I certainly enjoy spending time with you and look forward to seeing you again on Monday when we get back together around 7 o'clock or so. So for now, thank you.